Let's go live to New South Wales Police on today's court decision.
To that public assembly, we will be able to manage that. I would say if you're coming into the city on Sunday, be aware of that public assembly taking place. Please, if you are coming to the city, there will be a large police presence, so listen to police officers if you need any direction or guidance. The Opera House will still have a security overlay. They still will be scanning people coming into the Opera House. It won't just be a free-for-all of people being able to go in. They will check bags, they will scan who is coming in. We will be at the Opera House also ensuring that this court ruling is adhered to. I would say to anyone who thinks that they could go to the Opera House still and be a part of any type of demonstration or public assembly, that you will be committing an offence and appropriate action will be taken by us. Having said that, I understand that the Palestine Action Group have come out and said not to go to the Opera House. They've come out and said that they are working with police and they will adhere to the court ruling. They've also openly said that they will now assist with this new march from Hyde Park to Belmore Park. So, pleasing result for us. It's good to see that we would say common sense prevailed on a public safety issue, and that's what it was always about. And I'll take any questions if you have them.
How many people are now expecting to attend? Max 6,000?
The Palestine Action Group have put in a new Form 1. The new Form 1 states 40,000 people. Whether they get those numbers or not, we don't know. As you know, the numbers aren't always correct. They're not ticketed events, so we will see how many people turn up, but we'll be ready for regardless of how many people turn up.
Even the Chief Justice said yesterday, Assistant Commissioner, that he was trying his best to avoid a situation such as the Belgian disaster in the UK, genuinely a safety situation that could have seen people die. You didn't use those words, but were you concerned as well that there could have been deaths or injuries with that sort of capacity of people in that cul-de-sac type environment?
Oh, absolutely. I think a question got put to me that we haven't had a crowd crush in Australia. Well, I'll say this, it's because experts with the police plan these things so we don't get crowd crushes. And that's what it's all about for us. It's public safety. It's why we need time to plan and work with people before we adhere to their Form 1s, before we agree to facilitate public assemblies. And by and large, we're able to do that day in and day out. I think we do over 1,500 of them a year in the city alone. So we're pretty tried and tested at it. But the cul-de-sac, the peninsula that it was on, the ingress and egress routes, they gave me great concern of a crowd crush. And for those reasons, that's why we took it to the Court of Appeal.
You mentioned the importance of the Form 1 process, how it's pretty well in place, groups do it, it's an important process. Are you concerned that the threat of contempt of court that is now in place because of this judgment could actually undermine that process now when you have fewer groups lodging a Form 1 and therefore sort of, undoing the work that's done with that process as it stands?
Not at all. We still have powers that we can utilise without the Form 1 process. The Form 1 process actually protects people from committing certain offences. It allows us to work with them. It allows us to keep them safe. I think by and large, people want to work with the police and they want to get the outcome they want. They don't want the conflict, we don't want the conflict, and we want to make sure people are safe.
So there's a new group, but are you expecting anyone to attend the Opera House? And if so, are police ready to lay charges?
I don't expect people to attend the Opera House, but if people are silly enough to and people want to flout the law or break the law, well, appropriate action will be taken. We will be at the Opera House as well as assisting with this public assembly along the route that is outlined.
Do you see this contempt of court threat as an expansion of police powers?
Well, the court came out and made some very strong terminology about what they believed is a prohibition of that assembly. So I don't think it's any expansion of powers of us as such. We can always take action when people are breaking the law.
So to clarify, at the Opera House forecourt, there will be sort of lines of checking of bags and things on Sunday, in excess of normal security.
The Opera House are putting in their own security overlay, which is a matter for the Opera House. We will support that. We'll be there just to ensure that no public assembly takes place as per the court's orders.
The protesters in PAG continually said yesterday in court and even again today that they rolled out these examples. The crowded house concert saw 100,000 plus people. Nelson Mandela had 40,000. Can you explain to us how those crowds were able to get in and out without any problems or crowd crush, and yet we couldn't organise something as safe as that?
Well, there's a few things around that. For starters, the information I have is those numbers may not be as substantial as what they made out. Second of all, they are ticketed events, well planned, well organised, months in advance. It's not about people just wanting to go to a concert and walking out in small numbers. This was about, at least 40,000 people by their own numbers, possibly higher, coming to do a public assembly on one of the most iconic sites in the world. I had concerns about that. I had concerns about the movement of those people through ingress, egress, the communication, listening to police, all of those things. So I think it's actually apples and oranges when you start talking about ticketed concerts versus public assemblies.
Commissioner, as well, there's been breaking news as well, Assistant Commissioner, that overseas they've managed a peace deal. In light of that, would you say it's time for the PAG to reconsider even doing Sunday's protests? Do we need it?
Look, that's a matter for the PAG. I can say this, we are not political as New South Wales police officers. We're here to keep people safe, and that's what we want to do. It's been significant, hasn't it, for the last 2 years, geopolitical issues playing out on the streets of Sydney. I think everyone would like to see some normality in that space, but people have the right to public assemblies, and where we have to do that, we will facilitate it.
Given news of that deal, are you expecting it to be a more peaceful protest over the weekend compared to maybe what we saw 2 years ago outside the office?
I'm expecting it to be a peaceful protest this weekend, as we've seen for the past 2 years. I think 2 years ago at the Opera House was a very heightened emotions for a lot of different circumstances. I will say, and credit to this particular group, we have not seen those types of violence or antisocial behaviour generally. Although we have made a number of arrests over those protests, they have been minimal when you compare to the numbers that we've been dealing with.
How do police manage who can and can't enter the Opera House forecourt on Sunday? Obviously, an assembly's been prohibited, but are individuals able to still, will they be turned away if they appear to have been involved in the protest? How is that managed?
Well, I won't go into operational methodology, but what I'll say is the Opera House themselves will put their own security overlay, and we'll be there to support it.
So what kind of police presence are we expecting?
Assistant Commissioner Peter McKenna, the court ruling will be enforced, he says, by New South Wales Police.